Hey, it's Maddie, and welcome to another episode of Estate Sale Baby. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Also, thank you to the people who left kind reviews. I really appreciate it. I almost started crying when I read one of the ones that was on, I think, Apple Podcasts earlier. So that's very sweet. I really appreciate that. How are you doing? How was your week? I'm not doing great, so I'm assuming that you're probably not doing the best either. But let's get into estate sale talk. Okay, so first thing I wanted to talk about was Martha Stewart, which many of you probably already watched this, but I'm obsessed with the Martha Stewart documentary on Netflix. Absolutely obsessed. I didn't know her story that well at all until I watched the documentary. I didn't really realize that either. Like, if you had asked me if I knew about Martha Stewart, I would have been like, of course. But I did not know the whole story. I just loved learning about her. It was so fascinating learning about why she went to jail, kind of the pushback on her general personality and demeanor. And I definitely identify with being type A, so I really enjoyed that part of it. The Martha Stewart documentary inspired me to order off of eBay a copy of one of her Christmas books from, I think, 1988. And I thought that could be a fun thing that we do on Estate Sale Baby close to the holidays, is just kind of go through the book and maybe put something together. I need to see the book first because I'm not making any promises based off the complexity of what she includes in the book. But anyway, I thought it'd be a fun thing. So hopefully you like that idea. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is something I mentioned briefly on the last episode, which is that I'm helping organize my grandmother's estate sale. And her estate is outside of Pittsburgh. So I'm helping with that process, and I'm hoping that along the way I'll learn some information and potentially, make a little mini episode on some tips for organizing your own estate sale. But something that I've learned already that I thought was very interesting that I wanted to share with you guys is the number one tip that I got from an estate sale company around here that I love was not to throw away clothes and to prevent my family from throwing away her clothes. And I thought that was really interesting because I was like, why would anybody do that? And then I was talking to my mom and she was like, well, no one's going to want these clothes. And I was like, please do not throw the clothes away. So apparently it's obviously, you guys know this, but it's a very big selling point to have clothing at sales right now. A lot of people like vintage clothing. So they said not to throw it away. And I guess that's a common instinct to just get rid of it. When I say throw away, I mean also donate, not just actually throw it in the trash, but also donate. My grandma, she passed a couple of months ago. We were not that close. So it was still, it sucks regardless. And I have been thinking a lot about just the idea of people being in her house and buying her stuff. Sometimes when I meet family members at estate sales of people who have passed, I'm just like, how are you so cool about people being in your family member's space? I think that's, again, I feel, like I said before, I feel very privileged to be in their space, and it seems kind, it seems very kind and chill. But I was thinking just how am I going to feel when people are shopping in my grandma's house? And I don't know how I'm going to feel. I've heard from a lot of people that they feel good because those items are finding a new home and they're finding new people to love the items. And it's even sadder to get rid of the items just straight up. So I think I probably will feel like that. I also wonder sometimes because I see estate sale companies make everything look so beautiful and well curated that I'm nervous I'm going to be like, I want to buy all of this stuff. Now that it looks like a department store, I want all of these things. So anyway, those are some things that I'm thinking about as I'm going through this process, and I'm really interested to see how it goes, and hopefully I'll be able to share some tips with you guys. It's been very hard to find an estate sale company in the area where my grandma lived. So we've also been toying with the idea of doing a private estate sale, and I'm not really sure how I feel about that because I think I know the amount of work that goes into it, and I don't think that I could do it. But my mom is pretty organized, so she might be able to handle it, and she's kind of the one who is pushing for that. So anyway, I'll update you guys. And again, it's very sad. I don't want to downplay it and, laugh and stuff. It sucks losing a family member, and then also organizing their estate is very hard. And a lot of people are involved, and I think that's one of the harder things too. My mom and her siblings, there's a lot of them. So, everybody's got an opinion, and Anyway, just if you've gone through it before, I feel for you, because I can't imagine if I was like even closer to it. It's a very hard process. Okay, so for the rest of the episode, I was thinking we'd go through some information that I find fascinating and have learned at some sales recently. I think I want to do this more often, because this is really the stuff that I'm fascinated by, is some of the things that I like learn going to these sales in terms of just like objects and items and the history behind them. So to set the scene, I went to a Georgetown sale that's happening this weekend. And when you go to a Georgetown sale, you kind of think of like a particular house, maybe a little high end, maybe a little stuffy. I like stuffy, don't get me wrong. I'm into stuffy, but a little stuffy, very old school in a way. And this house was not like that. This was a row home, and all the walls were white. It was a very sleek house, but it was sleek in like an early 2000s way. There was a lot of like lucite furniture. It was very Love Actually to me. Like Love Actually, you know that time period where it was like Love Actually and Closer? I don't know if you guys saw Closer. That's like a deep cut Julia Roberts movie. Closer, yeah, maybe like About a Boy a little bit. But kind of that era of like clean aesthetic 2000s. So I like loved it. It was definitely not an aesthetic that I've seen a lot of, but they had a lot of lucite furniture. This person was clearly obsessed with boxing and golfing and baseball. So there was a lot of sports stuff, which I don't identify with, but I thought was interesting. They had tons and tons of books, and a lot of them were boxing books or golf books. You could very much tell that was what they were about. And then on the top floor, they had this really beautiful upper nook that was all white that you would go up these little white stairs to. And it just felt very 2000s. It was very nostalgic for me. But anyway, at the sale, they also had some clothing, and you could tell that they had kind of set aside some of the designer clothing. And one of the pieces I was obsessed with, it was this green leather jacket, and the tag said Mario Valentino. And I am a little bit of a designer noob, just as a heads up. Like, I'm not plugged into designer brands. I don't have any potentially designer stuff. I probably have some designer stuff. I just can't think of it. But anyway, I don't have a lot of designer stuff. I'm not like good into the designer world. And I've been a little bit fascinated by designer stuff at estate sales because people go nuts for it, absolutely nuts. And I think it's fascinating spotting fakes and just telling whether something actually is designer is absolutely, I'm a little obsessed with the idea of it. So anyway, it said Mario Valentino on this jacket, and I was Googling it because I was like, I feel like that's not Valentino, and it is not. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but there is Valentino Garavani, and then there's Mario Valentino, and apparently Mario Valentino is actually before Valentino Garavani, but Valentino Garavani is what you think of when you think of Valentino. It's very high-end, obviously, designer, and I guess there has been a lot of court proceedings between the two brands, and Valentino, basically the one you're thinking of, is upset with the other Valentino because they think that basically they're using their brand to sell things. So anyway, I thought that was fascinating, and I can assure you that someone will go to that sale and be like, wow, a Valentino coat, and not even know that it's not Valentino. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. And in terms of spotting fakes, I started following this account, Vestaire, I think is how you say it. And they'll do videos of someone explaining how to tell a real, quote, real designer bag from a dupe. And I think that stuff's fascinating, like how the stitching looks, how the logo looks. And estate sale companies generally, they know this information a bit. And I remember going to that Congresswoman sale a few weeks back, and they had a corner of dupe bags, and someone bought the bags. They were Louis Vuitton dupes or fakes. I mean, so just as a preface, I think there actually is some controversy around buying fakes, which makes sense. Like, you're buying something that is imitating someone else's, I guess, art in a lot of ways. So there's controversy around it. And I don't fully understand or am part of that world, so like I can't really speak on this 100% sensitively, but I'm going to attempt to. But anyway, so they had dupes, and someone who follows me was like, wow, I got this great deal on these Louis Vuitton bags. And I was like, uh-oh. And then eventually they reached out to the estate sale company and were like, these are fake. I want my money back. I thought they were real. And the way that the company denoted that they were fakes is that they put Louis Vuitton in quotes on the tag. So it said Louis Vuitton. They tried to say that it was fake, but anyway, all that to say, I think that stuff is like super fascinating. And also, if you see something that says Louis Vuitton that's really cheap, it's probably fake. But I do think it's crazy to think about like how much knowledge you have to know to figure out if something is real or not. But anyway, so, just buy things because you like them and you're okay with the price in a lot of cases, regardless of whether actually Valentino, you know what I mean? Anyway. Okay, so the next thing is that I want to talk about Lucite furniture. So the person running the Georgetown sale had texted me and was like, there's a ton of Lucite furniture. And I was like, I know what that is, but I don't really know what that is. So I Googled it and I thought it was pretty fascinating. Lucite is a type of acrylic, like it's a specific kind of acrylic. I don't know if you guys knew that or if I'm the only one, but Lucite's like a trademarked name. So it's something that DuPont makes, specifically a type of acrylic. So hopefully that is some kind of fun fact for you as well, because I thought that was pretty fascinating. And apparently it would go in like plane windows after World War II or something. Don't quote me on that part, but I was also reading about it for those purposes. The next sale that I'll just mention briefly that I've been to this week is in Fairfax. And this sale was interesting. It sort of had like a mid-90s aesthetic. I'm really trying to get better at like identifying actual design terms for aesthetics and styles so that I can better explain them. But anyway, that's a journey. This house, what I thought was really fascinating was that they had a lot of old photos of family members framed for sale. So I thought that was interesting. I just thought it was interesting thinking about like at what point do you just have too many photos of family members? And to go back to my grandma, I think that it's interesting when you're going through, like my mom was going through my grandma's like letters and stuff, and you just can't hold on to everything. So I think that's fascinating. This house also, notably, it had some trains. It had a model train set that they said was from the 60s, 70s. So that was cool to look at. And then they also had a lot of vintage Boy Scout stuff and Army Navy stuff. I need to get better at identifying also different like military branches and their stuff, because sometimes I'll just be like the Army and it's definitely all Navy stuff. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. At the sale in Fairfax, they also had a lot of clip-on earrings, and I think the history behind clip-on earrings is fascinating. I hadn't fully like processed why clip-on earrings exist. I always just thought it was like something weird that older family members of mine preferred. And then I was talking to someone who does jewelry at an estate sale, and they were kind of explaining the history a little bit. And then I went down a rabbit hole on the internet, so I thought I'd talk a little bit about that. So clip-on earrings are because piercing your ears was considered like uncouth or vulgar potentially. And I never even thought about that because, I grew up when it was in the 90s and people were like, just get your ears pierced now so you don't have to do it when you're an adult. And clip-on earrings weren't invented until 1934, which is pretty fascinating. And I guess they like really took off as an idea. It also was interesting because part of the history was talking about synthetic pearls and making kind of cheaper jewelry that was more accessible to people, which also made a boom in just generally wearing jewelry because it was like accessible to people. And then in the 1970s is when pierced earrings came back. And I guess that was sort of part of like the liberation of women, is that they came back and you could pierce your ears again without it being like vulgar. So anyway, I thought that was really interesting and not something that I necessarily had ever thought of before. I found one really good timeline that I'll include that I kind of reference in what I just said in the description of the show if you're interested in more information. That is the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you like diving into some of these items more, and I would love to do that in the future as well. I'm planning on a couple of cool things besides going through that Martha Stewart book. I'm thinking about potentially having a couple of guests on in the future. I also, if you guys have any ideas of something specifically you want to hear about, I'm also open to that. You can email me or message me anytime. Thank you so much for listening. This has been an episode of Estate Sale Baby. I'll see you next Thursday. Bye.